Hey, I'm Skylar McGeer and welcome to the Built to Last podcast. Today I'm joined by a beautiful mama-to-be called Domia, who's in her third trimester. Domia is the co-founder of a women's-only training program here in Dubai, helping women at every stage in their journey to overcome mental and physical challenges. Domia also runs her online coaching business called Elevate, where she helps female entrepreneurs stay in the best shape through every journey of their life. Not only that, she also helps them to build a body with the confidence to match. So, Domia, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
It's a pleasure.
I'm really excited to be speaking to you because my first question actually is, we met when I was 4 weeks pregnant and we've worked out that you were around 16, 17 weeks. So I feel like I'm just a little bit behind you, and I just wanted to know how you are feeling at this part of your pregnancy and where you are in this stage.
So I am currently about to be 32 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
So in that final trimester, so at the stage where I'm starting to count down to like the birth rather than like how many weeks. I'm like, okay, 8 weeks left, you know?
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Like, thank God the pregnancy's been quite smooth.
Yeah.
Of course, there was stuff like nausea and all of that in the first trimester, but really blessed. I've been able to keep training. I feel healthy. I'm still able to like walk my dog every day and stuff. Just more exhaustion, like more tiredness, a little bit heavier, just the normal stuff, but I can't complain too much.
Yeah. And you were talking then, just keeping on about your training and that like ability to still be training this far along. How is your basically your training changed throughout, like from the baseline when you were in your first trimester to the second and the third? Because I bet there's been so many differences.
There has been. So because it was an IVF pregnancy, I was asked by my doctor to not train in the first trimester. So it's really common with IVF pregnancies for you to be asked that, to not train whatsoever.
Oh, I actually didn't know that at all.
Even though there's literally no scientific backing behind not training during the first trimester, you have to, of course, do what you feel comfortable with, and obviously it's not just my decision. I have to take into account my husband's decision and like respect his wishes as well.
Yeah.
So we agreed that I wouldn't train until the doctor cleared me. So my doctor cleared me at 11 weeks to train. He was happy for me to start training at that point. And then, so the way that my training has changed is obviously, I mean, in the first trimester, I was feeling really nauseous and really tired anyways. Yeah. So it's not like I would have been able to lift or train the way that I normally do. It was a win to be able to like put a bit of weight on the bar, get my squats in, get some deadlifts in, use some of the machines. It was just like aiming to do something, and it felt amazing.
Yeah.
So you just have to forget like what was I capable of in the past and just kind of start scratch, like just how do I feel?
Yeah.
And then in the second trimester I felt stronger, I felt more confident as well, because obviously once you hit that first trimester into the second one, you automatically feel a bit like safer, right, in the pregnancy.
Yeah, and your energy starts to come up as well.
Yeah, energy comes up, nausea goes down.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was around 17 weeks that the nausea kind of completely went away. And so, yeah, I felt stronger. I felt really good to train. Again, it was a week by week thing. I wouldn't say that my training has changed dramatically from trimester 2 to trimester 3.
Okay.
It's honestly just been week by week. Like some weeks I feel really strong.
Yeah.
Some weeks I don't.
Yeah.
So like some weeks the weights go up, some weeks the weights go down. Things like positions, like I can't lay flat on my back. Like even for my second trimester, I would feel really tight in my lower abdomen.
Yeah.
So because I'm obviously a pre and postnatal certified coach, I know that, okay, I can just adapt, like increase the bench angle and do like an incline bench press instead of a flat bench, things like that.
Amazing. So it mostly changed from the first trimester, obviously, from no training to the second. And how did you feel like mentally not because I know you trained a lot beforehand. You were a powerlifter, you have like obstacle course training, everything like that. So going from that sort of training to zero training for 11 weeks? Well, it would have been longer if it was IVF.
Yeah.
Because were you able to train before IVF?
Let me start from the beginning.
Yeah.
We were trying to get pregnant for about a year.
Without IVF?
Without IVF.
Okay.
So we were trying to get pregnant naturally for about a year because we found out I had low AMH levels, so low egg reserve. And when it wasn't happening after the first few months, after like 6 months, one of the doctors recommended that I really reduce down my training, because I am a power lifter. So I was always training to like my like 1 rep or 3 rep max, for example. I was doing really like heavy weights, intense, like
stress on the body.
Yeah, stress on the body 4 times per week.
Yeah.
Plus I then we do obstacle training. Plus I'm also coaching, so I'm demonstrating like these obstacle and ninja kind of skills in class. I was really, really active. So from the last, so let's say like another 6 months, I was just focusing on cutting back my training to like 60% of what I'm actually able to do, what I'm actually able to lift. So like my squats and my deadlifts went from being in the hundreds to like,
oh my God.
Yeah, to like the weights that I would normally warm up with would be like my working set. So that was probably the hardest part of adapting my training, because I know that my body is capable of so much more, and I know I have more to give, and I know I'm going to lose strength if I continue to train like this, but I have to do it for a bigger cause.
Yeah.
And so with time I got used to training like at a lower intensity and not pushing my body as much, and I started to introduce breath work on a daily basis, like just at home, like 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, to calm the nervous system a bit more, and to do some yoga as well, like trying to add that in like once or twice a week. Never really got up past once a week, to be honest, but
it doesn't hit the same.
That was a big thing for me. So that's how my training, I really like tapered off a lot before I even got pregnant. And then throughout the IVF process, I actually did my IVF in Lebanon. So luckily my husband is from there, and I stayed with my mother-in-law, and it's a beautiful country, and the weather was amazing and everything like that, so I could be outdoors a lot. And I was still training throughout the whole IVF process. Like I had a membership at the gym club that's close to their house. So even throughout like egg retrieval and stuff like that, I only stopped for 5 days once they actually retrieved my eggs, because they do small like punctures into the ovaries. So you have to let your body heal a bit. So I stopped then for 5 days, and then obviously once they had done implantation is when I stopped again. Completely, yeah.
Wow, okay. So the hardest bit was actually the bit where you were told you had to... the hardest bit was actually where you had to stop for the IVF process to start? Or the year before?
I'd say the year before. So before the actual IVF process was the hardest, because I was...
Because you could train in the IVF.
Tapered down my training.
Yeah.
Like such a low intensity, and then I still wasn't getting pregnant.
Yeah.
So it was like every month you're like, what am I doing this for? Like I'm still not getting pregnant. Like the doctor's even sure this is a thing.
Yeah.
And I know many women who have continued high intensity training and got pregnant with and without IVF. So it's it's kind of like down to each person.
Yeah. So it was more like a mind. It was why am I doing this? You're not even pregnant yet, and you had to cut back to what you were actually capable of doing.
Yeah. So then once you have the actual IVF, like once you've done the actual implantation, like the transfer of the embryo into the uterus, I understood that I'm giving something up that I love doing, and that is great for me, but for a bigger cause. And that's kind of the mindset I've had throughout the whole pregnancy, is that my body is going to change, the way that I train is going to change, but it's all for a bigger cause. Like I really would love to be a mom, and I'd love to have a baby, and thank God she'll be here in a couple of months. But all these changes that I'm going through, it's for her. And then I can focus on myself again afterwards, like my training and all of that once I'm postpartum.
And that's what it's about. For me, and I'm guessing for you as well, like training is about longevity. I want to be able to run, lift, do everything that I'm doing for like my whole life. I don't want it to just be like before I'm pregnant and it's not going to just disappear, because I sort of had that mindset sometimes where you feel like, oh my God, I have to remind myself of that mindset, that there is a bigger cause behind it. Like you're going to be having a family, and it's something you've always wanted, and it's going to be there, it's always there, and you've built up that foundation as well. So I guess the first trimester then wasn't that much of a hindrance to you, like it was more, I'm pregnant now.
I did not feel like training.
No.
And I was so nauseous all of the time.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. I mean, I didn't actually vomit, which is great.
Yeah. I'm the same. I didn't vomit at all. thank God. But it's not morning sickness either. It's all day.
All day sickness.
All
it's
day,
like
all night.
Your worst hangover for 3 months every day with no respite.
That was why when I walked into that event that you were at, I was like, oh my God, there's a pregnant lady. Because I was like, I need to learn from it, literally.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to talk that night.
No.
But you didn't even know I was pregnant. I think you said that you had like a guest, because I told like the lady hosting the event. But I remember seeing her, I was like, oh my God, she's pregnant as well.
Yeah, I just heard your girlish screams
Yeah.
in the corner next to like the wine bit on the table, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she's pregnant.
Okay, so Domia, there is so much noise in the fitness space about training when you're pregnant. I know some people don't feel comfortable training when they're pregnant, or they just want to go balls to the wall and just keep training like they used to. As a fitness coach and as a woman who works with other women as a prenatal and postnatal coach, what is your take on training throughout your pregnancy?
There is a lot of conflicting advice. What we generally see is that medical staff, so doctors, are more advocating for not training during pregnancy, especially in the first trimester of pregnancy, whereas fitness professionals who have been studying and researching the prenatal and postnatal like effects of training while pregnant, are saying actually quite the opposite. So for example, my doctor told me in his own words that there's no scientific research or backing behind his reasoning to ask me to not train during my first trimester. But please just take it easy. That was it. But there's so much research that you can find online from really good sources, really solid studies that show that and strength training specifically is so good for not only the mother but also for the fetus.
Yeah.
So it's actually got more statistics to show it's in favor of having a healthy pregnancy rather than miscarriages.
Oh, wow.
It shows the better development for the baby, for neurodevelopment, for muscle mass for the baby, like for many things. Like there's so many studies out there that just show all the advantages for your baby as well as for you. So my answer is, for anyone who is pregnant and wants to actually train, unless you have been deemed high risk by your doctor, there shouldn't be a reason for you not to train. Of course, you need to be sensible about it, and this is where I would say you should seek, if you're not certified yourself, or if you're working with a coach who is not certified, that's when you need to kind of pivot a little bit and invest into someone who is certified, who has done the training course, and can really tell you how to engage your pelvic floor, your deep core muscles, what movements are fine for you to do. There's actually not a lot that you can't do when you're pregnant, which is a really crazy thing. But the most important thing is really, I guess, your pelvic floor and the deep core engagement. Yeah. And giving you that peace of mind throughout your training as well, right? If you've got a trained professional telling you, like, listen, your baby's going to be fine, you're going to be fine, you train like this, you push to like 60-70% capacity of what you're normally able to do. There's studies out there that say you can actually push to 80-90% capacity. People are saying that you can. I've seen videos of women doing butterfly chin-ups who are like literally 8 months pregnant. I can't even do that, but right now. But everyone's super different. Yeah. But the overall
consensus
is that training is good for the pregnancy and good for your baby
and good for the mental as well. I think
100%.
that's been my biggest take from my fitness. Is not even about my body, is literally how I feel mentally. And I think some of the general advice is also, I don't know if you agree with this, but do what you were doing before you can do throughout your pregnancy. I think it's a worrying thing or I would start to worry if I was doing things that I hadn't been doing before. So for example, I was running a lot before, now I can still run. I wouldn't necessarily have taken on running if I just found out I was pregnant and never did it before. Would you agree with that? Or no?
Listen, running, I can't say a lot on. I used to run, like 5K a week maybe. Yeah. when I got pregnant, that swiftly stopped. I was very happy that I was like, okay, bye. I don't need to do that. That was just a personal preference.
Yeah.
I think because I was sick in the first trimester, so in the second trimester, I was like, I really can't bother to pick this back up. Like, running's already not one of my... I know you love to run.
Yeah.
I don't love to run. I do it for my general health, and it's good to be able to move like that.
Yeah.
I do think and I'm a real... oh my gosh, what's the word?
Advocate?
I'm a real advocate for learning to strength train while pregnant, even if you've never strength trained before.
So starting it, even if... Okay,
because
I agree with
you can still get stronger throughout your pregnancy. Everyone's going to come in at a different level. I might have someone in my class or someone that I'm training who has been weight training for the past 5 years and has built a really solid foundation, and so can squat 60, 70 kilos. But I might have someone who's brand new to my session who's never done weight training before, and I start her off body weight and then going on to small dumbbells. So it looks different for everyone. And that's where it's also important to work with a good coach who knows how to read you and can communicate with you, will ask you how you're feeling, how the body's feeling, and not just during the session but a follow-up as well. So there's a lot of prenatal classes that have 20 plus women training at the same time on the exact same program, and that's what I don't agree with.
No,
it needs to be personalized for you. What does your body need? How's your body feeling? What's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? Because sometimes we need to address those weaknesses and turn them into strength so that you come out the other side of delivery feeling better.
Okay, amazing. Because obviously if you've got a class of 20 people, you can't be there for each of those 20 women. I bet you see that a lot in the fitness industry, like those sorts of classes happening, like that can't be good for pregnant women. I wouldn't feel confident. Like I told you about the yoga story, like you just cannot receive that personal care at all, and it's quite scary to put your body under that sort of pressure if there's not someone there looking out for you, because if you aren't certified, you don't know what to do naturally, and there's only so much information out there. So I bet you see that a lot.
That's one of the reasons that we actually created the program that we run called Be a Mama. And we only have maximum 6 ladies in a session with one coach. So the idea is, I mean, of course the programs might be similar because we believe in those essential compound movements like your squats, your deadlifts, your hip thrusts, like a single weight lunge, a single leg lunge or whatever. But it has to be tailored to each person. So like I said, some person, maybe one woman's with a barbell, one's with a dumbbell. If you go into a class of 20 plus people, not only can the coach not keep an eye on everyone to make sure they're doing the exercise properly, you're probably also, if you're someone who's well versed in training, you're probably also not being pushed hard enough. So if you're there using a 10 kilo dumbbell, but you're actually capable of squatting 60 kilos while pregnant, why are you doing 10 reps with 10 kilos when you could be doing way more?
And they could be pushing their body even more than they think they can.
And that's
I'd never think of it like that, actually. That's such a good idea. So you have only 6 women in a class?
6 women in a class to one coach.
Mixture of
some
pregnant.
are pregnant, some
Amazing.
postpartum, some are neither. So we have, it's just like semi-PT basically.
And are those classes obstacle course? Or
those are, no.
Those
so
are
for
different
pregnant
ones.
ladies, these are strength training.
I know, I asked you because I was like, I want to
go. Obstacle training is not for pregnant,
I know.
Not for pregnant women, just to know.
Because
there's a lot of like hanging and swinging and jumping from hanging and stuff like that, and high impact. And of course, with obstacle training and ninja training, there's a lot of chance of like falling and tumbling and whatever, which we teach you how to do those things safely. But obviously when pregnant, it's better to avoid those things.
So it's more just strength training. And I think that's why strength training, I've always loved strength training. I've been doing it since I was 15. My dad was a bodybuilder, my sister was a bodybuilder, so it's always been in me. But I think that's where strength training is like one of the best things to do, because you can come in and just learn the technique on your first session and you just gradually get better and better. So would you recommend that as recommend that for pregnant ladies, or would you say you need to have a mixture of like yoga, walking, or is it just... It's hard to recommend to people because I think everyone's so different. Like for example, you went training in your first trimester. Like what would you recommend to someone who's like maybe didn't train beforehand if they were just finding out they were pregnant?
Again, if they're in their first trimester, just found out they're pregnant, you can continue to train. Like I'd say for the first like 7 or 8 weeks, you don't really feel any difference anyway. I normally haven't started if you're going to get nausea and stuff, you normally haven't felt it by
No.
then.
Yeah.
So you can continue training as normal, but listen to your body. And the thing is not everyone knows how to listen to their body exactly. Some people are more in tune with it than others, which is why it's, even at that early stage, it's good to also work with a coach, because they might be like, listen, you're pushing just a little bit too hard. Like, why don't you just like taper it down a bit? Or vice versa, like, you know, you can lift heavier weights in this, you look like you're just doing your warm-up type thing. But strength training honestly is literally the answer for everything. For women who are not pregnant and want to lose weight, for women who just want to get healthier, want to prevent injuries, but also for women who are pregnant, it's I think it's recommended to do like 12 hours a month at least of strength training to get the full to get the full benefits of strength training throughout your pregnancy. So that would be like 3 hours a week.
Yeah, 3 sessions.
Yeah, but then on the holistic point of view, there's a lot happening to your body, and there's a lot that you can do to prepare for your delivery, regardless of whether it's going to be a vaginal or a C-section, right? So things like working on your mobility, opening up your hips, that lower back movement is really, really important. So that's why things like prenatal yoga are so popular, but they also serve a really good purpose. So doing a mixture of mobility and strength training, and then walking is just great for everyone, isn't it? Just to move every day. It's general, gets your steps up, helps you with a bit of cardio in there. Get in the sun, clear your head, put your phone down.
How would you say strength training helps then with recovery postpartum? Because I think that's one thing for me. I'm like, I just know this is working for me in the background for when I am recovering.
I think this is the game changer when people come out of the other side and they're like, oh my gosh. We've worked with so many women who didn't strength train during their first pregnancy. And then decided, I want to strength train for my second pregnancy because I found recovery so very difficult. So obviously you're not training, you lose muscle mass as it is.
You lose so much muscle mass in pregnancy.
Even without pregnancy, you're losing muscle mass.
As you're getting older. 30
onwards, 20 onwards. Exactly. So the difference... A can help you in the delivery if you are also doing a natural. But if you, like postpartum, regardless of C-section or natural delivery, it's going to help you. You'll first of all have like a mind to muscle connection. So when you are postpartum, you might not know this, but you should, like even in your first few weeks of being postpartum, you shouldn't just do absolutely nothing. You should try to reconnect with your pelvic floor and your deep core. And you do that through breath work. And then also like very gentle movements, like getting some mobility back into like the hip girdle and that kind of thing. So there's a few things you can do, but the strength training will help to speed up that process because you've got muscle memory. Your muscles remember what they're doing. You've got more mind to muscle connection. You're starting from a stronger base than just starting at zero.
Wow, there's actually so much benefits to it. Like, that's why it's a game changer for everyone. So moving on from the strength training now, I'm going to start talking about like the IVF situation that you went through. So throughout your life, was kids always something that you wanted and saw for yourself?
I wanted babies since I was like a young teenager. I think we had a bit of a chat earlier, and I used to volunteer in the creche of my church from the age of like 12, 13, to just because I loved babies and I wanted to help look after them. So
like a maternal instinct.
And I'm from a big family. I'm one of 6 kids, and I've got 8 nieces and nephews. I love babies. I love kids. So yes, I always wanted to be a mum.
And then how did you find it? Obviously, were you trying before you found out about the IVF, that you had to go through IVF, or was the IVF a complete shock to you? Like the idea that you couldn't fall pregnant naturally and had to go through that process?
So it came as a bit of a shock. I think when I found out that I had low AMH, so the low egg reserve, that came as a bit of a shock. I only went to get checked because I had an abnormal period. So normally my cycles were the same every month, but I had a period after just 2 weeks of having one. So normally it'd be like every 28 days.
Okay,
so it was like for only 14 days, which is when you should be ovulating, right?
Yeah.
I had just had COVID. I did have COVID at the time.
Yeah.
So this is a good couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I remember I was at a retreat that we were hosting with my company. I was like, oh, why have I come on my period? Anyway, I went to see a doctor. I got tested for my hormones and stuff like that. And she came back to me and told me I had low AMH. She said, like, with the rest of my hormonal screening, everything else was normal. But that I had low AMH, and that if I didn't, that I should start trying to get pregnant. This was in March.
Yeah.
My wedding was due to be in July.
Wow.
So she was like, you should start trying to get pregnant now. And if you don't get pregnant within 3 months, we do IVF, which I didn't like her approach. I swiftly changed doctors.
Quite aggressive.
Yeah. So it did come as a shock, and I was really upset. She did reiterate that having low AMH does not mean that I can't get pregnant naturally.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that, like, I don't have the eggs there, or that there's a problem with my body. It's just that I don't have many eggs left to keep trying with.
Yeah.
So that was a shock, yes. And then I think when I started to look more into trying to get... So we took her advice and we tried to get pregnant naturally.
Yeah.
I think when I started to do that, you obviously start looking at, like... I don't think you did this, but like ovulation sticks and stuff like this to see like when are you ovulating, when does your LH levels peak and things like that. And I started doing acupuncture to help me to try get pregnant as well.
How does that help?
So it's apparently got like some links towards
stress release.
No, well, it's got some links to having successful pregnancy rates. So like for women trying to get pregnant. So you basically have the acupuncture like around the time that you're ovulating, and then just after, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it's just it obviously with the acupuncture it's kind of making the blood flow go to the uterus and stuff. I don't know the science behind it, but it's one of those things that have got some kind of correlating science backing behind it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try it no matter what. Yeah. And the lady I did that with, she was really insightful, more than doctors actually. And she actually helped me to figure out that I was not ovulating on my day 14, but I was actually ovulating on my day 16. So when we were probably trying a few days too early, things like that. And so throughout this journey of trying to get pregnant naturally, we also tried things like trigger shot injections, which your doctor gives you to help you, to force you to ovulate in case you're not going to release an egg, because sometimes we have a normal period but we've had an anovulation, so we haven't actually released an egg, things like that. So there's so much that so much that you don't realize
goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't think I'd ever have to go through that. It was kind of one of my worst fears, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but as a younger adult, I was always afraid, like, what if I can't get pregnant naturally? Because it's always been such a deep-set dream of mine to be a mum.
To have a child.
So it wasn't a fear that I ever really spoke out, because I didn't want to, like, verbalize it, but it was there.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I was then going through that was a really, really hard time.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we did try for a year to get pregnant naturally.
Oh, so you didn't do the 3 months?
No, we tried for a year.
Oh,
I went to go see another doctor, and I was like, listen, like, surely it can take more than 3 months to get pregnant. And she agreed, and she said, yes, and there's different things you can do, like the trigger shot injections.
Yes, so you did all the other things. Okay.
I also did things like I had my ovarian tubes checked to see that there was no blockages in them. So they really checked my husband's sperm to see, like, what the quality was, and everything was great. Like, honestly, there was nothing wrong with either of us.
Yeah.
We just weren't getting pregnant.
Wow.
So I had my AMH retested almost a year later. So it was the first time was in March, and this was like the April the following year. Had it retested, and that's when I actually was on to my third doctor, and he's a Lebanese doctor, and he, when my new AMH levels came out, he was like, okay, you know, it's dropped even more than your last time. This is really the time that you do need to start IVF, because if you wait another year, you might not be able to fall pregnant.
Yeah.
And of course it's upsetting at the time, because every girl dreams of getting pregnant naturally, and there's a lot of like romanticism behind it, I feel. But actually doing IVF was less stressful for me than trying to get pregnant naturally.
Yeah, because obviously you were going through doing everything that people said would potentially work, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And then I bet by the time you got to that stage, you were like, right, let's just try this and go for it. How long did the IVF process take then? Was it less time than the trying to get pregnant?
We started the IVF process in June, I think it was. So
Yeah.
I was in Lebanon for 7 weeks initially. So
You were without your husband, weren't
without
you?
my husband, yeah. I mean, he came to do the needful, but
Yeah.
I was there for 7 weeks. My husband came for like 1 week and then another week.
Yeah.
I was planning to do a duo simulation, which is basically where you do all of your injections and your medication
Yeah.
to help you to produce more eggs.
Okay.
To release more eggs from the follicles, and then they capture those eggs, right? They remove them.
Yeah.
So you normally do like 2 weeks of medication, and then they take the eggs when you're due to ovulate, but they don't allow you to ovulate, so they retrieve them before your body naturally ovulates.
Okay.
And then the plan was to do immediately a second cycle, so another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Rather than let me rest, have a period, and do another cycle like the next month or a few months later.
Yeah.
This was the way that our doctor had said would get us the best results for retrieving eggs, because my AMH was quite low.
Yeah.
But thank God we got enough eggs on the first round.
Oh wow.
To then try to not do the second round. So we got enough eggs on the first round, and then it was the process of having them implanted with the sperm to make them embryos, in which case the average rate I think is like 50% success,
because you lose some, don't you?
you lose some. So I had 7 eggs, and every woman is really different. I have to stress that, like, some women might have better embryo conversion rates than I do, some might have less. But
it's just different for everyone.
It's really different for everyone.
Same as just falling pregnant. Yeah.
So out of the 7, we had 5 embryos successful. And so we knew at that point that we only need 1 child. That's like, we're happy with if God blesses us with 1. So we thought 5 embryos is enough. We don't need to do the second lot of simulation.
Wow.
So yeah, that process itself took maybe like 2 to 3 weeks, let's say. And then, of course, it takes longer if you want to do like an implantation. So we did do an implantation in that 7-week period. That was unfortunately unsuccessful. So
the first time around?
The first time.
Okay.
So you have to wait like 10 days to kind of find out. You do a blood test. But we did a second attempt in like September, and that is now my baby girl.
That's amazing. And I think the one thing that shocked me was when we met for that coffee and you were telling me the reaction of the medication that you had on your body. Like, how did that feel, like having all that medication in your system? Because you're quite whole food intuitive with your body and stuff. How was it having that like influx of medication?
I was really worried about it. I was really concerned because I'd heard so many awful things about IVF and the amount of hormones you're taking and the changes it has on not just your physical health but your mental health and the ups and downs that you go through. So I really prepared myself for the worst. I was like, right, I'll journal every day. I mean, I'm Christian, so I was like, I'll read my Bible every day, spend time worshiping also, things like that. And I'll go to the gym because that helps me to clear my head. So like that, it was really important that I had a gym membership that I could go to. And I had
in Lebanon.
Lebanon. So I also had my husband's car, so I had some independence. So everything that was good for my mental health. But
you
honestly,
just pre-planned.
Honestly, the only, and again, this is so different for everyone, but the only change I saw was bigger boobs.
Really?
That's not. And I wasn't opposed to that. so I really had a good, like, I didn't. Okay, yes, you have bloating and gas. Sorry, like that happens. Like, yes, you're bloated and a bit gassy. That's the extent of what I felt. I was quite lucky. I think some women it hits them much harder, but for me, I really felt fantastic considering I was just like having a great 7-week holiday in Lebanon, to beach clubs all the time.
And I guess then, like, I think we were talking about your mindset and stuff beforehand. If you have that positive mindset, I guess that's why it was successful. Would you believe? Like, do you think that helped in your experience or?
Yeah, I think it's important. Listen, I think it's important to keep a positive mindset. I do believe in like energies as well, you know. Like I'd done vision boards and
I remember you saying you and your friends did it.
Me and my friends did vision boards at the beginning of last year, so beginning of 2025. And so I did it with 3 of my friends. So there was 4 of us there. And one of them announced she was pregnant that day at the vision board workshop. And we all had pregnancy stuff on our vision boards, by the way. But she obviously planned to tell us that day.
Yeah.
And then the other 3, we all got pregnant within that year as well. So that, again, like, I really do believe, like, if you manifest it, if you...
and you just put that energy out there.
Those positive energies, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think, like, having that positive mindset makes a big difference. I wouldn't go as far to say that, you know, it makes or breaks it. Yeah, no. 100%. But it's better for you...
For your experience.
To try to keep that positive. And I think I mentioned to you a bit earlier today, like, I also just stopped following accounts that weren't serving me and that purpose. Like, there's some great women who help women to get pregnant through IVF or, like, naturally, but through, like, more of a functional fertility kind of way. So, like, through blood tests and nutrition, like, and hormones, and stuff like that. Rather than going through IVF, they tried to get pregnant that way, which is one avenue that I explored, or was going to explore. But even seeing, like, cases of failed pregnancies and failed IVF trials and stuff, I just didn't even want to see that. I just wanted to surround myself with positive stuff.
Yeah, because I think we were saying this, when you see that, you sort of start to consume it, and it can almost take over your mind a little bit, especially if the IVF journey sounds like it was all encompassing anyway, and then hearing negative stories is just not, I don't even think it's good for anyone, even if you're not pregnant, hearing negative things. So I definitely agree with that, because it does, I think you having your positive mindset would have just enhanced your experience just that little bit more, an already difficult situation as well.
And your mental health. I think it forces you, you know, if you are saying positive and thinking positive and surrounded by positive, you're going to be an outcome of everything around you. So if it's the same with just everyday life, right? If you surround yourself with negative people,
you're going to become just as negative.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my husband, he always says, if you can think negative, you can think the opposite as well. So why not just think that way? And I do think that's probably why you have had such a nice, it's not such a nice experience, but a nice pregnancy almost. You seem like really positive and happy. So I'm really happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
So looking back at the whole IVF experience that you've had, what was the biggest shock or the most frustrating thing you've experienced that maybe you wish you were told beforehand?
The biggest shock, I wouldn't say it's frustration. I just think more people need to know about it.
Yeah.
When you do your IVF implantation, okay, so when they put the embryo in and you have those 10 days, they drag.
I can imagine.
Much, to get I did not want to do a pregnancy test in those 10 days, but a lot of women do.
Yeah.
Some women will do a pregnancy test and it will show negative, but they have an actual positive result. But obviously, like, it's so draining on your mental health. So I just would really recommend not doing a pregnancy test. Just wait for your blood test. But what you should know is that you will do your blood test and you have to wait, like, the whole day, sometimes the whole day. Like, I went in at 10 a.m, which is as soon as the clinic opened here in Dubai. And I didn't get my results till 8:30 p.m. that evening. Oh my God. So I, at 8 p.m, had told my mum, like, I'm not getting the results today. Like, probably they're going to send it tomorrow, whatever. And then we got it at 8:30.
Yeah.
Really long day. So that's number one. Just be prepared to, like, wait all day for your results.
Yeah.
Number two, that you have to do a second test 3 days later.
Wow, because test. The first one
could be a false positive. So they look at, I forget what the exact thing that they look at is now.
HCG?
I think that might be
in the pregnancy test. HCG.
So they want to see
in the blood test. Yeah.
In your blood test. So when you do your blood test, they look at, I guess, your HCG levels. Yeah. And then it should double every day.
Yes.
So when they do the blood test again 3 days later, it should be like, it should have doubled every day.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, oh my God, we waited all day for this result. And it's like, and then we'll retest in 3 days. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean there's a retest? And obviously I didn't know that.
No.
So when I got told I had to retest, then your heart kind of sinks again, because you're just like, but I've just got the news that I've been waiting for so long. Is it actually true or is it not? And then you kind of, like, just to be safe, wait till your second test to, like, tell people. I mean, we told our family on
straight
the first
away.
Day. Yeah. Straight away, yeah.
Did they know you were, sorry, this is so off thingy. Did they know you were going through that process?
Yeah, I was really open with my closest friends and my family. Yeah. I was really open with them about everything, because also I wanted people's prayers.
Yeah, and people around you and support and love.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. With the HCG thing, that happened to me as well. So I didn't know that. So the minute I did the pregnancy test, I had to go to the hospital the next day, and they told me the same thing. I had to come back, and I was like, what? I had no idea it had to double as well. And I had to do it 3 times, I think. They made me do it. Yeah, they made me do it 3 times. But it was really strong. So I think I had no idea there was you could get a fake positive. I had no idea.
Positive. Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's why they do it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did your family take it when it was successful then? That makes me so happy that you told them, because I couldn't keep that from my family.
No, me neither. I'm really close with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, safe to say there were a lot of tears from our end as well as their end, you know, especially because, I mean, of course, like, you're always happy when someone gets pregnant and it's something that they want, right?
Yeah.
But because they knew the struggles that we had and how much we wanted to have a baby, it was like all the more special.
Yeah, it makes it more special. Yeah. Amazing. Last one on IVF, but was IVF something that the process more so, was it something that you were familiar with? Because I know when I met you, I remember I think I left our coffee, I was like, oh my God, there is so much to that process that I had no idea about. Like, did you know about any of that, or did you just learn as you went along?
I didn't really know much. My sister actually also had IVF.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. But my niece and my nephew, she had twins.
Yeah.
My niece and my nephew are now 13 years old. So that was a long time ago. Yeah. And my sister is like a good 6 years older than me. So we were at different stages of life. I didn't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
The part that I knew a bit about was the egg freezing part, because I had friends, obviously I'm like mid-30s.
Yeah. Don't look it.
I had friends who have done egg freezing.
Yeah.
So I asked them a lot of questions about the egg freezing, because I knew that was at least the beginning part of the IVF process, right? But I had a lot of questions for doctors, and I think that was... I think you don't really learn much about it until you're actually going through it.
Well, that's exactly what, because when I was speaking to you, I was like, I felt like I was like, oh my God, how do I not know about this? But I think until it, like you said, your sister went through it, until it's you experiencing it, I just don't think you fully ever understand. Like all my sisters have given birth. I was just like, there's a baby, like until you go through the pregnancy and all that. I think, did you have the similar thing? So until you were in it, you had to just learn from the doctors and ask the questions as you went.
Learn from the doctors, do your own research. And like, one thing is I would always go into my appointments with like a list of questions.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, that is one thing I'm really struggling with, asking doctors questions, because I just feel like I don't know. I'm really bad at, like, I'm in the room and I don't know how to ask them the questions that I want to ask, and then I leave and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't ask anything. That's actually really good.
The doctors here in Dubai normally give you their WhatsApp. I don't know if your doctor has.
Yeah.
So you can ask questions. I think what also really helped me, honestly, what really helped me a lot was the fact that I had 2 of my best friends who have now delivered.
Yeah.
Also trying to get pregnant. They both were going to go down the IVF route.
Oh, they were?
They were going to. So they had done the egg freezing. So those, I knew, that's how I knew about egg freezing.
Okay.
And they were going to go down the actual IVF route. One got pregnant before she could even start to prepare for the IVF route. Like, they were like, okay, we'll start the IVF process in January, and then she found out in December she was pregnant. And then the other one was literally waiting for her period to come so that she could start the medications for the IVF.
Wow.
And then she never got her period. So they had done like a lot of the process, but obviously just hadn't gone into the preparing the body for the embryo to be implanted.
Yes.
That's the stage they hadn't got to.
Yeah.
So I think it was really nice for me because I had friends who had gone through something really similar, and that's why I have another friend who did IVF after me and now is pregnant with she's just like 8 weeks behind me.
Yeah.
So I've always offered a bunch of information to her, and I do consultations all the time for pre and postnatal training.
Yeah.
For my company, and I know the telltale signs. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I haven't trained in the last year because we were trying to get pregnant. I'm like, okay, that was probably. I'm like, is that an IVF pregnancy by any chance? They're like, yeah. How did you know? So like, and then they don't know a lot of people who've gone through the same thing. So
would you say it's talked about a lot?
I'd say not really.
No,
not enough. And I understand why.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, I think like especially if you are currently pregnant, having undergone IVF.
Yeah.
That some people are like suspicious, or they're afraid, or they just don't want to
jinx anything.
Yeah, exactly. Until baby's here. I'm a very open person.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was so blessed to have friends who supported me through everything.
Yeah.
And not everyone has that. So if I can give someone at least a bit of information that's going to help them, then I'll do that.
And I think especially as an expat, you're an expat here in Dubai. I know you've lived here for what, 8 years?
11 years.
11 years. Oh my God, I'm like a baby. So you've lived here for 11 years. How much do you, that's what I was going to ask you, how much do you think the help of your family or your friends here, do you have family here?
No.
How much do you think like your support network here helped you like throughout this process?
Yeah, I'm really blessed to have some really amazing best friends.
Yeah, and to all be going through it in the same time, that is incredible.
Yeah, we did actually all decide together that we were going to start trying together. The husbands find it quite funny.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, they've been really supportive. I think it's something really important. If you are going through IVF or struggling trying to get pregnant, it is such a way. You said that you drew into yourself, like I think in the first trimester, right? And that's normal because you feel like crap.
Yeah.
But if you're going through those struggles, it's really, you have an army of women who are ready to support you, but you need to let them know that you're going through it.
You need to let yourself out there. Yeah. Now that you're at this point in your journey, I can't believe you're 32 weeks. You've not got long left at all. How are you feeling? Like, I feel like you've gone through such a journey to get here. How are you feeling about bringing your baby girl into the world?
I'm just so excited.
Yeah,
honestly,
just so ready.
Really ready just to meet her and have her here with us. Not right now.
Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks more. A couple of weeks more, please. Just really, really excited, to be honest. I think most mums feel that way. Some feel
especially in the third, I can imagine.
Yeah. Some feel a bit more nervous, I think, about having them actually here and like how to take care of them and stuff. But yeah, just really excited to like bring her home, introduce her to my dog, who has no idea that I'm pregnant, or if he does, he just doesn't care. But like, just to see him interacting with her, and obviously see my husband as a dad, and see like, just
the next chapter. And he's a big dog, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
really
gonna be amazing.
Boy,
a little gentle giant.
And he loves babies, and he loves babies. So
it's always the big ones. They're always the softies.
Yeah, I know. He loves them.
And are you feeling prepared? I know we were talking about the antenatal classes and stuff like that, and all the information you get. Are you feeling overwhelmed, or are you just taking it as it comes?
I'm taking it as it comes. There's a lot of information out there. I'm really blessed to be part of a lot of like mum WhatsApp groups, but honestly it's a lot of information coming, and it's again like I'm reading stuff about breastfeeding, and I'm not at that stage yet, so I'm just like,
I'll come to that when I come to
exactly.
it. Yeah,
I read back through those messages and things and things like that. We're getting prepared. Like now we're getting the house sorted and stuff like that. We started to think about packing a hospital bag. We haven't packed one yet. I've got like a baby shower coming up at the end of this month, which will be really exciting.
That will make you feel like we're there.
Yeah, but we've got quite a lot of the bits that we need. So just waiting for her arrival. Yeah. Really, yeah.
Do you know what? We literally haven't bought anything yet. Like I've got a teddy bear, and I just like it'll happen when it happens. I think it's so, I bet even when you were at like my stage 20 weeks, like I can't even think of anything like that right now.
I think the first thing we bought was a stroller, which we did in I think February, because there was the Ramadan sale. So we got one on half
I regret that.
But I think there's more sales coming up before you deliver. So this day and age, everything is very easily and readily available to you,
especially in Dubai.
You can literally have everything delivered to your door, so I wouldn't worry too much.
No, that's such a good point. So as a coach and working with women and children and everything like that, I bet you're so excited to bring that life to baby girl. What is one thing that you want to teach her when she comes into the world? The wellness, looking after yourself.
If we're talking about wellness,
I remember you put a story on your Instagram, and it was like the mum and the little
training
girl,
together,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh my god, I can't wait for that.
Okay, yeah. So like obviously I can't wait to show her, like we teach girls like
Yeah.
age 6 to 14. So like obstacle and ninja, and like it's the cutest thing ever.
Honestly.
Kids are so fearless and so strong.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know
can't-
how strong babies were as
Yeah.
well, how they can hold themselves up and stuff.
Yeah, by the way. So like obviously I can't wait to have her doing like obstacles and ninja and stuff that I love doing. Obviously like lifting weights when she's older, if that's something she wants to do.
Yeah.
But just sharing my overall passion for being like outdoors and being active.
Yes.
Like I do free diving, scuba diving, I do wakeboarding,
Wow.
I literally do everything and anything that you can think of.
Outside.
Like everything, yeah. So we love to go on hikes with like our dog and just be active and outdoors.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to share that with her. But I also am a really big advocate for looking after your mental health.
Yes.
So as she gets bigger, just teaching her how to cope, I think, with like any
Life.
worries or anxiety and stuff. Like my mum actually suffers from severe mental health, and it's something that she only kind of experienced in the last 10 years since I've been here in Dubai.
Yeah.
So it's become really important, a really big part of my life to like make sure that I look after my own mental health and to bring that to my family,
Yeah.
you know, to my nieces, my nephews, and now to my own little girl.
Yeah.
To also just prioritize looking after herself sometimes, not
Yeah.
all of the time, not to be selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, to look after her own mental health and help other people around her.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I love that. And just have that positive mindset. I think strength training and looking after yourself, you can then, once you pour into yourself, I strongly believe this. If I pour into myself in a day, in the morning, first thing, I can give so much to everyone else. So I think that is such a good point. And just, yeah, the mental health is massive. Like, that fitness and looking after myself, and I know it is for you, is like an escape. So yeah, I love that, and I'm gonna do the same. And she'll be a is it Be a Warrior?
Be a Warrior is the company. We
Yeah.
have Be a Girls.
Is that
Be a Girl is the kids program.
Yeah, and that starts from 6 years old.
Yeah, ages 6 to 14. We want to make it age 4.
Yeah.
Where we're looking to expand that, but not just yet. We have to like do it at the right time.
Can you do you need to do anything else for that? Like any extra training for younger kids?
No, we honestly we work with coaches who've worked with kids
Wow.
a lot, and it's just adapting. Kids are so resilient and
I
so
know.
fearless, and like they learn so quickly. It's actually easier teaching the girls than it is adults.
Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, nothing extra needs to be done there.
Amazing. That's so exciting that she
But it
does
makes
have-
them feel really powerful as well.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like for your girl, my girl,
Yeah.
just doing any kind of sports or training, right, like you get that feeling of accomplishment and confidence and mental resilience. Like just because something's tough, you don't just give up. You can keep
you can
going
do
and push
it.
through it, and like look what you managed to achieve.
Yeah.
And you learn that through sports, through fitness, and then you can apply it to other areas
every
of your life.
area,
So they're
yeah.
just going to be unstoppable.
Because how old were you when you started training?
Training, like I've been really sporty my whole life.
Yeah.
Like in the playground, I was the girl playing football with the boys.
Yeah.
In the playground, or like I played basketball, hockey, rugby, everything
Just
at school,
everything.
everything all the time. My dad comes from like he used to do like Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
His background, and my parents actually had a gym in South Africa where they used
Oh,
to
yeah, I
run
remember you
classes.
saying, yeah.
So fitness is somewhat in my blood, and I didn't realize how much it was until I came into this space when I moved to Dubai when I
Yeah.
was like 25 or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's really in my blood. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's gonna be my daughter's too.
It will.
I'm really competitive, so I need her to come first place in all the sports days.
I love that. She will as well. I know she will.
I hope so.
I think we've chatted quite a lot covered a lot. We've had a lot to cover, and thank you so much for being so open. I think you'll help a lot of people, which is why I wanted to speak to you, because you actually helped me to understand, even though it's not something on my path at this time in my life, but you helped me understand a whole new area which I was just shocked at. So thank you for being open and honest. And where can anyone find you who's listening, especially for training purposes?
Yeah, I mean, your best bet is to get me on Instagram.
Yeah.
At Domia Eco. You can share my handle, I guess, on the podcast.
Definitely.
That's the best place to get me on. Or my email, my contact details are all shared there. And obviously anyone who listens to this podcast and has any questions, or just wants someone to talk to about IVF, like my my door is always open, so I'm more than
Amazing.
happy to give anyone any help if they need it.
And then if they have 6-year-olds plus, is that
Yeah, if you've got any daughters aged 6 to 14, be a girls. If you'd like help with your training, postnatal, just regular, just anyone, you know, wanting to get into strength training. Like, obviously I come from a powerlifting background, so I've competed internationally. I've represented Team UAE.
Wow.
The national team for the UAE.
I
in
feel like we need
powerlifting.
another one.
Represented like His Highness Sheikh Hamdan in the Dubai Games.
My god!
Yeah, we won in 2019 for Dubai Games then. So I've got a lot of accomplishments as an athlete.
Yeah.
And it's why I do what I do. I love sports. I love how it empowers women.
Yeah.
And I just want more women to be part of it.
Amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.